Good evening, guys. Brandon here again. I'd just like to do another video for you, and this time what we're going to go over is some more plumbing and DIY on hot water heaters, gas valves, and knowing your gas valve knobs a little bit on your Standing Pilot hot water heaters. We did a video a little bit before on what the thermocouple does on a Standing Pilot ignition system, and while Standing Pilot ignitions on your gas appliances in your home are now a little bit outdated, and while the Standing Pilot has had a couple of upgrades to it on a lot of the older hot water heaters, like this one that I have, should your pilot ever have to go out, it would need to be manually relit with some sort of a match. I often like to use a long grill lighter, like those candles that's meant to light a barbecue grill or a candle, because it has the long rod, a fairly small flame, but it's easy to get in there. I've also used a plumber's torch, like a camping torch with the trigger on it, but sometimes that has such a powerful, long, forceful flame that just drives in so much power that it just goes and lights the pilot and then blows the pilot back out. Some of those were replaced by a closed-seal combustion chamber where the flame arrestor is not detachable from the access to the burner. And so if the pilot went out, there was the red push-button piezoelectric igniter, similar to that of the barbecue grills that you have seen for the reignition. Nowadays, it's an on-demanded pilot light. In that case, the pilot only is ignited, it still has the piezoelectronic igniter, but it only ignites it to ignite the burner when there is a demand for hotter water than what is that's in the house away from the tank, and therefore the tank needs to heat up more hot water. But like your furnaces have for about 30 years now, as well as the burner, the pilot also goes out when not in demand, but the piezoelectric igniter then reignites it. On your older hot water heaters, which are still fairly common, and Standing Pilot hot water heaters in general, that are in many homes and all over because they're pretty reliable, here's the type of gas valve system that you have that you're generally working with. You have your gas supply line, which is coming into the house from outdoors. You've got the ball cock valve on the side if you needed to ever cut the gas supply or you needed to work on it, change out the hot water heater. That comes in right here to a gas valve control knob, which on the bottom has the main flow to the main burner, as well as the tube for the Standing Pilot. And then the thermocouple, which I talked about in another video, which acts as the heat-sensitive piece of metal that needs to produce current to create enough magnetism to keep the gas valve open automatically within the control box. So the equipment that you have on the gas valve control box is right here. Is you have this three-way knob. As you can see right now, it is in the on position and it's turned all the way clockwise to the 3 o'clock position at the far right. The pilot is lit. When there's a demand for hot water in my apartment, if I go turn on the shower, the burner will light so that there is more residual hot water in the tank for later demand. If for some reason the pilot should ever blow out on its own due to a high wind, I would take this and turn this left to the 6 o'clock position down here and push this button to pilot. What I would then do, as I attempted to light the pilot with a lighter of some type, is depress this in downward fully. And after the pilot ignites, continue to hold this in for about 30 to 60 seconds. As I would release the knob, I would need to turn this and push this up and release it upwards. At that point, the pilot should stay lit unless the thermocouple is bad. And I fully explained that in another video, which I can put the link to that video in the description of this one if you wish. If for some reason I needed to turn the pilot off, I would rotate this thing counterclockwise to the 9 o'clock position. That would close the gas valve manually if for some reason I wanted to shut the pilot off for any period of time, and I don't see any reason why I wish to do that. So we're not going to go ahead and do that because I'm not looking to get down here on the floor and relight my pilot. You generally always have some climate control and heat control through this knob here, which controls the burner. This is the pilot control. This is the burner control. This one has settings. As you can see, its far left setting is hot. It has 2 more notches, and then it has warm at the far right if you want it a little bit leaner and a little bit warmer. And it has a few that are in between. It doesn't heat very well if I don't set this to the full hot position, so I don't do that. What some of them will do, and I see this more days be more standard on newer air conditioners, or hot water heaters, is there will be what will be called vacation mode or pilot lighting mode, which you turn it all the way past the lowest setting and collapse the burner valve. You collapse all gas flow to the burner valve, and what that'll do is cause the burner not to ignite for any period of time that you know that you're not going to be demanding hot water because you're not in the home. This can reduce your gas bill. In my opinion, it's limited, but I do know some people who have that feature on their newer hot water heater unit and are big proponents of using it. I hope this clears some things up if you're just looking to know how to save yourself a buck and not have to call a heating company, what have you, to just come out because your pilot's not been lit. Again, I'll include the link in description of the video where I had talked about the thermocouple and its principal function. That being said, ring the bell, hit the like button, get notifications. Thanks a lot.